Welcome to My New Day. I am so glad you joined us today. We are covering a subject that we have never talked about specifically on My New Day that is so relevant to so many people. And one of our favorite guests is here, Dr. Doug Weiss.
Many people, if not all of us, have a certain degree of sexual brokenness. And it does affect our relationships. And I think sometimes we don't recognize how much damage or, collateral damage that it affects in a relationship. So the topic of this 3-program series is helping her heal. And I think for us guys, we don't have a clue of what to do. Or even that I thought this was just something, that I'm dealing with, and I didn't know that it was really affecting her. And so I know, ladies, you're just like, yes, please help me.
Right.
And so we have, I believe, one of the world leading experts in helping people to walk in wholeness, in their sexuality is Dr. Doug Weiss. He's the Executive Director of Heart to Heart Counseling Center in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And he's been a longtime friend of us and the ministry. And for us to be able to work together, to be able to bring a message of hope, to you, to your marriage, your family, and generations, I find no greater joy. So let's welcome to My New Day today, Dr. Doug Weiss.
Hello,
hey,
Dr.
it's
Doug
good to be here.
Fancy meeting you here.
Yes, it's good to be here again.
And you know what? Something that we do on Mondays is that we love to celebrate Miracle Monday.
Okay.
And so we like to if you were to think, what is a miracle you have seen or experienced in yourself or someone else, what comes to your head?
Well, I see miracles every week. As a matter of fact, I was telling clients just this week, when miracles don't happen, that's odd to us.
I love it.
Okay, because we see broken marriages every week. He's cheated on her, he's doing pornography, he's acted out, he's a liar, etc. They come in broken on Monday and they leave Wednesday or Friday, depending if it's 3 or 5 days later. And they're liking each other. They've had sex once or twice that week. They're walking together. They're being respectful. And we see that miracle happen almost every single week. Every single week. We have a whole team of people. So when we see someone who really doesn't get the miracle,
that's a strange thing.
We're like, well, what happened there?
Yeah, that was a phenomenon.
Yeah. So for us, miracles happen all the time.
I love
We're in the
that.
miracle business. We see people who are broken and damaged, and they walk out healed and whole and happier, and with the tools and discipline to keep them that way. It's not just an experience. It's more like a training session, and then they take that home and keep doing it. And what happens, another miracle, is they actually go home. These broken people, months later, are leading groups on marriage or healing or sexual recovery in their local churches, and they're healing people from a place where they were once broken.
I think
Now
so.
that's a miracle.
Full
Yes,
circle.
it is.
That is a miracle.
That is a miracle.
And I think for some people, they feel as though the turnaround is going to take too long. It's been years and even decades that brought us here. We're so broken, but it's amazing. When God's
Absolutely.
involved, how that turnaround can be so quick.
It's huge. I feel, when they do the intensive and they call me back a month later and 2 months later to follow up, and they're like, this is the best marriage we've ever had. Dr. Weiss, you don't get it. He's like a different guy. He cares and he's listening to me. He's sharing feelings. It's so weird, but I like it. And it's but he just didn't know what to do, and we trained him what to do and stuff like that. And sometimes, like what we're talking about today, he just didn't get it.
And a lot of times nobody has told them. I remember talking to a young man just that didn't know how to speak woman at all. I said, so I just went to the basics. I said, well, you know what she needs the most, right? He goes, no. And I said, and then I told him 3 things. I said, she needs to feel safe. She needs to feel priority. She needs to know she's so beautiful.
Yes.
He goes, well, I haven't been doing any of those. I was, well, no, but he was crying.
Yeah.
No, he was always crying. So he said,
Yeah.
why didn't anybody tell me that?
Right.
And so we want to help
disconnect.
people. And on the other spectrum, to introduce today's program, we see women on the other side where there has been, some brokenness and some sexual involvement and things with their husbands, and they're just not getting better.
Right.
And so I believe it is that. Can you introduce this series?
Well, there's 2 sides to that issue. The helping her heal is really for the guy, and now the ladies who watch this DVD, they love it.
Oh, yeah.
Because
they feel
go,
validated.
There's a man who gets my pain. Okay, but let me give you the history of that. For over 2 decades up to this point, I've been listening to women's pain.
Yeah.
Every day for a living. Every day. Every Monday in my office is some woman telling me
You're
how
going to get
awful
some kind of a jewel on your crown. I'm just saying
it is,
that.
and so What I've done is I've taken the pain that I've heard from this collective woman over 20 years, and I've put it in guy language
Yeah.
so that a man can actually get what he's done. That's the first DVD. What you've done. We'll talk maybe about some points there. And then the second DVD is how you can help her heal from what you've done. You know, but you can't help her heal until you get what you've done. You know, you can't be defensive and let's get on with it, honey, and, you know, you should be over it. It's been a week. You know, this, you know, if it's been an affair or pornography, some kind of pain that you brought into her life like this, it's going to take a little bit of time to process through that. And this thing, you know, I remember I had this guy, he was a
I'm sure you have seen it all.
no, yeah, but this guy, you know, he came in and he's a precious brother of Christ, and, you know, huge man, basketball player guy, African American guy, and just as handsome as a man can be. And he cheated on his wife. Well, after the first session, I sent him down the hall and go watch this tape. Literally, he was just different in his face. He's like almost white. He's like, oh my God, I can't believe what I've done. I am such a jerk.
Right.
I get it. And I can't tell you, I mean, hundreds of people have had that encounter. Because there's something about a guy telling a guy what has really happened that a guy can get it. If a woman's crying and bleeding and doing all that, and that's all legitimate because she's in pain,
Sure.
but all he's trying to do is manage like the emotion
Yep.
and,
I can
and
totally
trying
see
to
how
get
this
out of it.
happens.
Just
Trying to make her feel better.
Just trying to like, okay, so
Maneuver
exactly
through that.
what's happening over there. I don't quite get the storm.
Yeah.
Okay, and so he doesn't really know how to move into the storm and reset it.
Yes.
Okay, and we teach him how to do that so that he can validate her, and there's ways of doing that. So helping her heal is a way for a man to actually get what happens when you turn your wife's world upside down with an affair or pornography or getting caught in something like that. And then moving into that with her as her ally in her healing.
I really believe this is genius. I think it is so necessary. I've seen places where this works.
There's something about a man saying, this is the pain that you cause. Because like even like in the very beginning, I talked to a guy, what happens in a man, he wants to discount it and compartmentalize. But see, women are global. And so what happens is the pain that he caused, whether it's adultery or pornography or some kind of significant pain that he brought to her life, it affects her globally. It affects her sexuality. It affects her spirituality. It affects her relationship with her kids.
Absolutely.
It affects her relationship with her parents. It affects her relationships at work. Now she has a secret she has to keep. Now she feels dishonest everywhere she is.
Oh
and
my goodness, you are good at this.
caused that pain.
Yes.
And so what he wants to, he
He
doesn't
would
get that.
perceive it as her, you're just making this bigger than what it should be.
Well, that's because he's a guy. Like he can compartmentalize his
Right.
sin, and plus, if he's in pornography or if he's cheating, he's spiritually and emotionally immature. So he's like a teenage boy who just wants to get over it. Give me my spanking, let's get over it. Let's never talk about it again. Okay? Because he's immature, he doesn't have even the reference point to get that she's in pain. Okay, I know I did it wrong, but let's move on. Let's talk about the future, honey.
Yes.
And
Let's move forward.
Yes, instead of like going right into her pain, and we'll talk about that probably next show. But
Is he the one that has to do it?
yes, we'll get to that.
Okay,
It's about
sorry,
that.
I don't
But
want to
right
jump
now,
ahead.
but if he doesn't get what he's done, if he doesn't get that he's destroyed her entire world, he will not have any empathy for when she's in pain. He won't. You see, women who stay angry and hurt and frustrated with their husbands after an affair, after pornography, after stuff, are oftentimes not validated that their pain's even legitimate. So they keep getting aggravated because it's not being validated. So what happens is he can't truly validate her pain until he gets the pain he caused.
She won't be satisfied until he gets it.
Oh no, it's gonna be years until he gets it.
Okay.
And so the tape helps a lot of wear and tear, save you a lot of therapy dollars,
A lot
let
of
him get it.
time.
Okay, yes. Because if he gets it, then he can move forward and they can move forward. Okay. So like one of the examples I talked to with the guys in the very beginning of the tape is this. When you got caught with whatever it was, pornography, self-behavior, prostitutes, an affair, whatever it is you got caught at or got exposed to, or even if you disclosed, no matter how this event occurred to her, it's all new information and she's being bludgeoned. So the imagery I use is like, okay, you took an Uzi and you loaded it up and you just went, and you just shot your wife and she's got all these bullets all over her body. She's bleeding on the floor and you're complaining about how sore your finger is.
Oh my gosh.
And
That is a great
You know what I'm saying? And so what
picture.
happens is she's not exactly getting where you're coming from. You have to validate that you're the guy who pulled the trigger. You're the reason she's bleeding, and you're the reason she's not exactly happy or wanting to have sex or is depressed or is not functioning the way she used to. You're the reason. And it's not about your finger, it's about the bullets, buddy.
Right.
Okay? But it takes a guy to tell a guy these things.
And to give him a graphic
Oh yeah, no,
picture
most
like
guys are
that.
like, I get the Uzi.
Right.
Yeah.
That was me. I did it.
Wow.
I'm 100% responsible for causing the pain. She had nothing to do with it. It wasn't about our marriage. It wasn't about the house being clean. I did it. I'm a moron. I mean, I can't tell you guys, watch this. I'm a jerk.
Yeah.
I go, yes, you got it. I now know you got it. Okay? Because, it takes a certain level of immaturity to do the things these guys do.
Yes.
But when they get that and they say, okay, it wasn't just
But then you have a
it
standard,
wasn't
then you have a
instances.
starting point. You see, we don't want to keep them
Yes.
there. But,
No.
But we have to have that starting point where they
But if he doesn't
understand.
get there, that marriage doesn't get further.
Right.
Because until he can acknowledge to himself that he has intentionally caused this pain, that it wasn't some weird accident, it was thoughtless, it was cruel, it was unkind, it was unjust, and it was unnecessary, and he did that all thoughtlessly against the person he says he loves the most.
Yes.
When he gets that foundational understanding, then they move forward.